So we're
Shall I
recording.
unmute? Shall I mute?
Yeah, do you want to do that? I might be able to
Yeah.
mute you actually. Anyway, let me just do that.
Okay.
I've muted everybody. So there we go. Okay, so we will get going. Let me just put that out the way. And then just to say hello to everybody, whether you're with me live or online later on. But welcome. We are on week 5, and I can't believe that we are already at the 5th week of our program. And last week, I think we did an hour of regulating our nervous systems, which is one of my really favourite topics. And this week, I'm going to talk about another of my favourite topics and classes that I love to teach, which is all about balance. And I love teaching about balance because whenever I mention to a yoga class that we're going to work on balance, I sort of get looks of slight fear across people's faces, or real excitement and anticipation, because everybody thinks we're going to start doing some of those really like full-on Instagram balances with our legs in strange places. But I don't think that's really super practical, whatever your hobbies and interests are, and unless you're an acrobatic rider or a circus rider, it's probably not that useful for horse people either. So today we are going to work on balance, and we are going to do some standing balance, but we're going to get there via a little journey around the muscles that are really, really important to balance and riding on horses, because of course the balance that we need often with horses is not about standing balance, it's actually about seated balance, and it's about having balance through our hips and through our abdomen and torso, but also having not rigid balance, but actually having moving balance rather than static balance. So today's practice is going to be all about working into that part of the body. I know we've been there before, but we're going to take it a little further and a little deeper tonight. And all the practice we're doing is going to be particularly focused around that area. Now, the other part of balance that people always forget when I say we're going to work on balance is that balance is not just about symmetry in the physical body. It's not just about being able to hold ourselves upright, whether we're standing, kneeling, or seated. It's also having a balance in our body energies. So in yogic practice, our body is comprised of 5 sheaths, and that starts with your physical body, your breath, your mental body, so your manamaya kosha, your intellect and intuition, and your spirit. And to be imbalanced in yoga, and to be able therefore to access the bliss state, or that state of calmness and flow where we can be truly ourselves, we have to get all of those parts of ourselves into balance. So tonight's practice is also going to take us through those, not in any depth, and you don't need to worry about the philosophy of that, but just to bring that into awareness, because in later courses and classes, I really want to start working with some of that energy practice, because for me, that's what I believe makes such a deep difference to my relationship with my horses, and how I've been able to work with my very traumatized little pony, and how we've been able to develop a real bond of trust. But we're going to start largely with the physical body this evening, touching into those other areas. So just finding yourself into your comfortable seat. We've talked about comfortable seats before, and I may even have circulated my little video about that. If I haven't, I will resend it out to you guys. But just finding a place where you can balance the push and the pull. So the push of your sit bones to the ground and the draw of the crown of your head to the ceiling. And just place your hands wherever feels good. So that might be on the knees, it might be on the floor. And just take a moment to settle in here. Because I think this ability to sit calmly with that gentle lengthening in the spine, it's not only how we sit in yoga, but also how we sit when we're riding at our best as well. So take a moment to settle in here. Maybe tuck the chin just a little, allow the crown of the head to elevate, the back of the neck to extend. And maybe you can close down your eyes or soften the gaze, and just start to come into your yoga space. start to come into this place of calm. And being able to withdraw into this place of calmness is such a great skill in life. So whether we're on our horses or off our horses, at work, driving to the yard, being able to find a place to settle and to come into balance. So as you sit here, notice your sit bones. Notice whether the weight is evenly distributed into your sit bones or you're tending to drop into one side or the other. I don't necessarily feel you have to do anything about that, but just notice, become aware of your own physical body. And if you feel a little off center, maybe take a little gentle swaying, a little rocking, until you're able to connect with that still central part of yourself. And tune into your body. Tune into your physical body. In yoga, the body is often described as a container for the self. And I think we intuitively know that. We talk about body as if it's something we own. We talk about my hand, my head, my feet. So imagine that your body is the most beautiful container. And it looks after your spirit, it looks after your soul, the very essence of yourself. So start to feel into that body that is yours. And notice the conversation you would have with it if you were taking the most care of it. So checking around the body from the feet, up the legs, the back, shoulders, arms, head and neck. And noticing any points of dis-ease or discomfort, tension or aggravation. And maybe just breathing into that body and telling it, I'm listening, I can hear. And take any wriggles or movements that feel right, any adjustments that just allow that tension or that dis-ease to dissipate. And then bringing your attention to your breath, your prana, your life force. And again, just noticing, just allowing your attention to follow the inhale, the exhale, the rise and fall of the chest and the abdomen. And reminding your breath that you're listening. And trusting your breath as we trust it day in, day out, minute in, minute out. It breathes itself without our attention. So maybe sometimes it's good just to shine a little like that. And then bring the attention to the mind. And noticing that in settling into our yogic space and settling into our horse space, our meditation spaces, our mind is rarely still. And Jon Kabat-Zinn describes meditation as not the power to be calm, not to create a calm sea of space in the mind, but an ability to ride the waves with detachment, with calmness. So allowing that the sea of your mind remains busy, but you can surf those waves. So if your mind is settling, allow that. If your mind is busy, allow that. And just taking a couple more moments to find the breath, the body, the mind in a little more balance and harmony with each other. And then dropping the hands to the mat. Find connection with the floor and then inhale to float the hands up and overhead. Noticing the body symmetry or asymmetry, if one arm feels longer or straighter than the other, if our torso is erect and aligned. Remember that balance is front and back as well as to the sides. Exhale, take the arms to shoulder height. And imagine your body a set of scales, your torso, the fulcrum, your arms, the arms of the scales. And place a little weight into the right hand. And feel the right hand tilting towards the floor as if the weight is drawing it down, but not so far as you touch the floor. Keep the arms straight. Inhale, coming back through center. And then taking that tilt to the opposite side. So gently awaking the obliques, the muscles along the side body, that allow us to move laterally and twist, coming slowly back to center. We'll do that one more time each side. Coming back through. Last time, feeling a little extra weight and a little heaviness of energy in the left hand, coming back to center. Flick the energies away. Feel the heaviness in the arms, in the scale, arms disappear, and bring the hands back up overhead. Exhale back through heart, center. So we are going to do a little focus on feet this evening because we do use our feet and ankles when we ride. We also use them when we walk and stand and do everything else that we need to do. And I think our feet are often a sorely neglected part of our body. And I think as people that work, live, share our lives with horses, we often shovel our feet in and out of badly fitting shoes and boots. They get wet, they get cold, and we really don't pay them that much attention. They're really, really important. So we're going to start by coming onto our backs. So lying on your back, on your mat, stretching both legs out. And just to welcome ourselves here, we'll take a luxurious stretch, full body stretch. Taking the arms up over the head, pointing the toes. And then draw our knees into our chest, wrapping our arms around our knees, and this time flex the feet. So we're drawing our toes back to our face. And take a little rock from side to side, waking up the spine. Drop the right leg. And place the hands on the knee behind the left leg. Draw that leg a little further into the chest. And just notice a gentle stretch along the inner thighs. When we ride, we need to be able to wrap our legs around our horses. So stretching through the groin and the inner thighs, the adductor muscles is really helpful to us. We'll inhale and stretch that left foot towards the sky. Draw the toes back towards the face. And then take a little circling action in one direction, then the opposite direction, warming up the ankles. Maybe point and flex the toes a few times. Drop the foot back to the bottom. Draw the knee into the chest. And then drop that leg back so it's lying along the right leg. And just notice whether your body feels in balance or if one leg feels a little released, a little longer than the other. Draw the opposite leg in, the right knee. Squeeze that up towards the chest. Feel that stretch through the inner thighs, the groin, then place the hands behind the leg. And float the foot to the ceiling. So gently warming up the back of the leg in the calf, the hamstrings in the calf. Bring the toes back towards the face. Feel a little warmth in the back of the calf. And then gently move the foot in circular movement in one direction, then the other direction. This ankle is always a little clunky for me. It's always a little square. So just notice any differences, and then point and flex the toes. Bring the knee into the chest, and this time draw both knees in again, a little rock from side to side. Drop the feet to the floor. So the knees are pointing to the ceiling, the soles of the feet are about hip distance apart, the hands are flat to the floor. We're going to take a little bridge flow, but a little bridge flow with a difference, warming up the feet and the ankles. So we'll start with a regular bridge, press the base of the back into the ground, inhale and float the hips, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Notice that we're strengthening through our front body, our quads. Exhale, drop back down. And then considering your feet, this time I want you to just roll up through your heels. So you're drawing your heels off the ground and you're resting on the ball of your foot. Gently take your heels back to the ground. And this time peel up the front of the feet. So the balls of the feet are off the ground, the heels are on the ground. Gently roll those feet back down. We're going to rise up slowly again, rolling up into our bridge, one vertebrae at a time. And when we get to the top, drawing our glutes in, creating a little activity, and then peeling our feet up so we're resting on the balls of our feet. Just notice how that changes a familiar shape. And then roll the feet back down, roll our bridge all the way down. Taking the bridge up again, rolling up. And this time, rolling the front of the feet up so we're resting on our heels. And just notice whether either of those shapes cause a difference in opening in the front body or the back body, how the muscles sing and talk to you a little differently. Awareness of self in connection with self is the first part of connecting with our horses. Bring your feet back down and roll back down into your bridge. Bring your knees into your chest, a little hug, little rock, and then place the foot back down. We're going to take two more bridge shapes. This time, roll up through the feet, finding yourselves on the ball of the feet and pushing up with your from your toes all the way through to your shoulders, into your bridge, and then rolling back down from your shoulders, one vertebra at a time, finding your hips on the floor, rolling the heels back down. Taking that in the opposite direction, so it's making our brains work as well as our bodies this evening, lifting the toes. And with our weight in our heels, pushing into our bridge. If this feels a little uncomfortable on your body, then keep the feet flat and lift the toes when you get there. Exhale, coming all the way back down. Allow the feet to come flat. Draw the knees into the chest, a little rock. And then dropping both feet back down, we'll take our right ankle onto our left knee. So we're finding our figure four. And just taking a moment here, allowing that hip to open out, maybe placing your hand on your knee and gently inviting it away. And then when you found your comfortable opening, place the hand down. And with the foot on the floor, just gently roll that foot onto the ball of the toe. The ball of the foot. Notice how it changes your figure four. It's a mild, gentle change. Learning to listen in and connect with the smallest changes in our body, then roll the foot back down and slide the ball of the foot up so we're coming onto our heel. So it's a subtlety, a little minor alteration, and then drop the foot back down. Unravel the legs and swap. So this time we're taking the left foot onto the right thigh. And again, invite a little opening if that feels good. And then when you're ready, rolling up onto the ball of the leg on the ground. Exhale, coming back down, and then peeling the toes up, taking the heel in the opposite direction. Feel how the stretch, how the shape changes as you peel the foot back down, unravel, draw the knees into the chest, and maybe rock and rolling, maybe pushing to the side, but however you get there, finding your way into a seated position. So we're carrying on our journey of working through our abdomen. So finding, oh, I've got Ed here, upstaging me as always. Finding your hands behind your knees, lengthen through your spine. And find the balance between the push of your sit bones to the ground, the crown of your head to the ceiling. And maybe lift one leg, lift the other leg. Release one hand, release the other hand. And start to maybe straighten the legs if that feels good, keeping the back straight and lifted. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Dropping the knees to the ground. Taking the legs wide. We're going to work into a little lateral folding. Out sulking because he's already had 3 teas and I'm not getting up and giving him a 4th one. So finding our hands on the top of our thighs, we'll take a deep breath in, roll the shoulders, find length in the spine, draw the chin down, elevate the crown of the head to the ceiling and roll down the legs, finding your forward fold. And maybe feeling a bit of a gentle stretch through the inner thighs. Those adductor muscles that are so important as we sit on our horses, that help stabilize us, keep us in balance. And if they're tight and short, then it becomes difficult to do that. Inhale, rising all the way up. And this time, sliding down your right leg, bringing your left arm up and over the top. So we're opening a little stretch into the left side body. And we'll hold here for 3 breaths. Inhale, lifting all the way back up, and this time taking that to the opposite side, sliding down and bringing the right arm up and over. Feeling the stretch, the opening in the right side body. Inhale back to center, coming upright and drawing the soles of the feet together so we're into our butterfly, our Baddha Konasana, and maybe taking a little opportunity to have a little massage into the soles of the feet, the balls of the feet, awakening the sensitivity in your feet. And then wrap your fingers around your toes and allow your legs, your knees to drop open. So we're not creaking and cranking and flexing and trying to physically open our legs. If you feel you want a little more stretch, lengthen through the spine. Feel that golden thread drawing the crown and head upwards and take a little bend forwards. And we'll be here for 3 breaths. Feeling the stretch through the inner thigh, feeling our hip bones balanced on the ground. Coming back upwards, bringing those knees in and finding ourselves to our tabletop position. So stacking knees under hips, wrists under shoulders and coming into our cat-cow. So inhale to drop the belly, look up. Exhale to round, pushing our way through. Inhale, dropping the belly, looking up. Exhale, rounding all the way through. Inhale, dropping the belly, looking up. And exhale, rounding through. Finding ourselves back into a neutral position with your cat. We'll inhale to float our left leg and take our right arm out. So holding here. And if it feels good on your body, bringing your leg out to the side. Your arm up to the side. I'm just bending my elbow because of space. And then exhale, taking those back, dropping them down. Just ignore me, I'm going to turn around and show you that from the front because it's probably easier to do it from the front. So inhale to extend the back leg. This time we're floating the right leg, taking the right arm forward and then bringing those out to the side and holding here, balancing here, lengthening through the spine, holding for 3, 2, 1, bringing back to center, dropping our hands back down and ignoring me turning round. We're going to push ourselves back so that we're finding ourselves in a little squat, a little toe stand. Knees or feet, toes roughly hip distance apart, knees pointing forwards, and either staying here, waking up the feet, or maybe bringing the hands to center. Finding a little squatted toe balance. If you feel like a little more, then lift the arms. And we'll hold here for 3 breaths. Finding your drishti, your focal point to look at. And then when you're ready, dropping your hands, walking those hands forwards and finding your way into your downward facing dog. Noticing the points of contact, the points of balance with the ground. The more points of back contact we have, the greater our balance. So we're going to reduce those a little by inhale and floating the left leg, taking that to the sky. Exhale, bring your knee into your chest, back to the sky. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, floating the leg to the sky, heel to bottom, and take that leg out to the side. So a little opening through the hips. Bringing that knee forwards, take the foot to the outside of the hands and drop the back knee. So we're finding a little lizard lunge, a little hip opener. And you can stay here, or maybe we inhale and we float the left arm. Exhale, take that arm back down, lift the back knee, and step back to 3-legged dog, coming back to downward dog. Ignore me turning round. This time we're going to inhale, float the right leg. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale to extend. This time, heel to bottom, open the leg to the side. And then rolling forward, bring the leg through, find the foot on the outside of the hand, however you get there, drop the back knee. Finding a little lizard lunge, a little hip opening. And it may be more comfortable for you to keep the knee up. It depends on the shape of your hips, actually. One is not an extension of the other. Wherever you are, inhale and float the right hand. Exhale, dropping that to the ground, lifting the back knee, stepping back, finding your downward dog. Bending the knees, looking forward, hop, step, jump to the front of the mat, bringing the feet together. And I'm going to turn around so I can face you. And we'll just take a moment, drape over our knees. Maybe taking a little rocking movement, a little organic sway. And then finding stillness, rolling up 1 vertebrae at a time. And coming into those standing shapes. And I often have to remind people that, you know, when we were about 18 months and we did this, and we stood up on our 2 feet and we stood still, people gave us a round of applause and they smiled, they clapped, and they told us how clever we were. And because we do this every single day, we forget that this is in fact a balance. We're the only mammal that stands consistently on 2 legs. This is quite a feat of balance, guys, so we've already made it. So whether you think you're great at balancing or not, you're already amazing. And in terms of being able to stand on one leg, we do that all the time as well, because we walk. And when we walk, we're temporarily on one leg at a time. So everything I'm going to ask you to do from here on in, guys, in standing balance, you already know how to do. It's just that as adults, we kind of forget a little bit. So finding our Tadasana, connect those feet with the earth, ground through the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe, the heels. And if it feels good or you feel you need to connect, have a little sway backwards and forwards, peeling the toes and the heels off the ground, maybe a little side to side movement, connecting with all the parts of the feet. Find your stillness. Take a deep breath in, bringing the hands overhead. As we exhale, we're going to bring our right arm down and leave our left arm up. And stretch through both hands, finding the balance between the push and the pull. The push of the hand to the ground, the pull to the ceiling. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center and take that in the opposite direction. Bringing the hands to heart center. 2 more. Reaching up, feeling the diagonal stretch. Back to center, opposite side, back to center. This time, as we take our left arm up, our right arm down, we'll find our weight onto our right foot and just start to take a gentle tilt, a pendulum balance. So it may be that your right foot stays down, maybe it raises a little into the air. Wherever you are, hold steady. Find a point of focus, something still to look at. And then exhale, settle back to center, hands to Anjali Mudra. Inhale, float and push. So this time your right hand goes up, your left hand goes down. Find the weight in the right leg and maybe start to lift the left leg. And I'm wobbling a little bit. But find your pendulum balance to the other side. Moving slowly, coming back to center, hands to Anjali. Inhale, take those arms up. Exhale, fold all the way down back to your forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming all the way to the top. And as you exhale, bring your right hand down. So your right hand is down, your left hand is up. And find yourself into that pendulum balance. Coming back to center. We'll inhale, take those arms overhead. Exhale to fold all the way down. Inhale, coming up halfway. Exhale to fold. Then inhale, rising up, bringing the hands up overhead. And as we exhale, bring the opposite arm down, leaving our right hand up. Leaning into that diagonal stretch, maybe finding our weight in our right foot, maybe starting to tilt a little over. Embracing wobbles, we learn from our wobbles. And actually, although it's good fun balancing on one leg, it's only a party piece. It's not desperately useful. Bringing our hands to heart center. This time, I'm going to swoop our arms up overhead. And as we exhale, take our weight into our heels and sink down. So we're into our Uttanasana, our chair pose. Bring your navel back to your spine. And we'll stay here for 3 breaths. Deep breath in, a long breath out. Exhale, folding back down. Inhale, rising up halfway, flat back. Exhale to fold. And then inhale, swooping our arms out and all the way to the top. Hands to heart center. So if you think you got off lightly by not doing Uttanasana, awkward pose, chair pose on the way up, we're going to do it again anyway. So we're inhale, taking our hands overhead. Exhale, sinking into our chair pose. This time, peeling your left heel up. So coming onto the ball of your left foot. Exhale, drop that heel down. Opposite leg, peeling up the heel of the right foot. Drop that back down. And you can stay here, alternatively peeling one ankle up at a time. Or maybe rising up, taking both heels off the ground. So if I turn round, you can see that I'm in Uttanasana, resting on the balls of my toes. You'll feel a little fire, a little heat in the thighs. Don't worry, those heels drop. And I'm a bit out of balance because I haven't found my drishti. Drop the heels, allow yourself to come all the way down. Come up halfway. Fold back down. And then roll all the way up. Bring the arms back and overhead. Back down to heart center. Going to come into some standing shapes now. And we are going to move into a standing balance. We're going to come into a standing figure 4 by way of tree pose, which we've practiced before. So I'm going to show you different stages towards that. So we're going to build towards it. So stay at any stage that feels right and comfortable to you. There are no points getting to standing figure 4. It's a nice hip opener for riders. It means we're engaging our core and all of those adductor muscles and hip muscles that we would when we ride, but everything we do on the way is useful to us and taking us there. So we're going to come to the top of our mats. Inhale to take our arms up overhead. Find our weight onto our left foot and step back with our right foot. We're finding our warrior 1. So back foot at 45 degrees. Arms up over our heads and grounding down into both feet. As we inhale, we'll peel the heel of the back foot up, coming onto the ball of the foot and spinning to the side, spinning into our warrior 2. I'm just going to widen my stand a little bit and I'm going to heel toe my front foot so it's in the midline. And you can hold here, driving your feet into the ground, noticing the connection there, really experiencing your body in this shape. Or maybe peel the heel of the front foot off the ground, encouraging ourselves to sink a little deeper into the shape. And just notice how that simple change, that simple action changes this very familiar shape. Drop the heel back down, straighten the leg, and bring both heels in, toes out to 45 degrees. Bring the arms up overhead. And as we exhale, squatting down into our goddess pose. So knees bent, like our Uttanasana, our chair pose, only wide-legged. And again, stay here or maybe lift the left heel. Place the heel down, lift the right heel. Place it down, lift both heels. Find your drishti, your focal point. Place the heels down, rising up, bring the feet back into square, hands to the hips, and tilting forward. So we're finding our wide leg forward fold. Maybe you choose to widen your stance or narrow it. Maybe your hands are on your thighs, your calves, or maybe they even come to the floor. If your hands are on the floor, try a little journey tilting forwards. Maybe those heels come off the ground a little bit. And then rock back, bringing the toes up off the ground. Just have a little play, a couple more times. Noticing how the pendulum action changes the balance, changes the body position. Last time. Coming back to center, bringing the hands to the hips. As we inhale, rising all the way up, perhaps bringing those feet in a little. Inhale, take the hands overhead. Toes out to 45 degrees, sinking down into that squat, this time lifting the left heel. dropping it down, opposite heel, dropping it down, and either carrying on heels in turn or lifting both heels again. Holding your balance, holding your drishti, your focal point. 3, 2, 1. Sinking those heels, rising up, bring the arms to shoulder height. This time, coming into our warrior 2 on the opposite side. Heel toeing the foot back. Lifting the heel if that feels good, and allowing ourselves to sink into that warrior 2. Just noticing how that heel release changes the shape. Bring the foot flat. Swoop the arm round, spin the back foot. It's a bit of an awkward transition, but finding ourselves back to warrior 1. Facing the opposite end of the mat probably. Exhale, hands to heart center. Have a little shake out. We're going to take that a little deeper this time and start to work towards our standing balance. So we'll go back to the top end of the mat. Inhale, sweep the hands overhead. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, rising up halfway. Exhale to fold. And then this time coming all the way to the top. Hands to heart center. Find your weight on your left foot. Step back with the right foot. Toe at 45 degrees. Finding the connection with the ground. Listening into the body and becoming aware of the breath as we stand here. Inhale, float the hands up. Warrior 1. Rising up on the ball of the foot. Exhale, pivoting round into our warrior 2. Maybe heel toeing the back foot back a little bit, the front foot to the middle. And either staying here in our warrior 2 or lifting the front heel, sinking into that shape a little further, a little more hip opening. Exhale, bring the heel down, toes to 45 degrees, bring the hands up overhead and sinking back into our goddess, our temple pose. Lifting the right heel, placing it down, lifting the left heel, placing it down, lifting both heels, holding for 3, 2, 1. Drop both heels, straighten the legs, bring the toes parallel, hands to the hips, roll the shoulders, open towards the sky as we exhale, tilting forwards. So these wide-legged forward folds, these goddesses, stretching through the inner thighs, coming all the way down. And this time taking a gentle walk over to your right foot or your right shin. Coming round in the opposite direction to the left foot. Coming back through center, hands to hips, rising up. Bringing the arms up and overhead into our star shape. Back through center to Anjali Mudra. And we're going to heel toe the feet in a traditional yogi move back to center. So we're going to take some options here. So we're working towards a standing figure 4 balance, but we're going to work through different stages. So find what feels good on your body today. Inhale, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, and bring the hands to heart center or bring them to your hips. Wherever you are, we're going to sink down into our Uttanasana, our chair pose. Find your weight into your left leg. And raise your right heel. And you can stay here with your weight through your left leg, or maybe you float your right leg and you find yourself coming into Vrksasana or tree pose legs. So one thigh crossed over the other. And you can stay here. This is a great shape for working through those inner thighs, those adductor muscles that bring our legs across midline. Or maybe you choose to slide that leg and bring the ankle over the thigh. So just as we did lying back and holding your balance here. Noticing the strength through the left leg, a little opening in the right hip, keeping your gaze focused. Maybe sinking a little lower, wherever you are. And then inhale to straighten up, to unravel. Bring the arms down to Tadasana at your side. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And notice what the body is telling you about that shape. We're going to come to the opposite side. So this time, inhale, float the hands. Sink down into Uttanasana, our chair pose. And this time, find your weight into your left leg, float the right foot. No, the opposite way around, the right leg, and lift the left foot. And you can stay here. Or maybe you take that left leg across, finding your Vrksasana, your tree pose legs. And if this is enough, stay here, or perhaps you take your left ankle over your right thigh and come into your standing figure four. Hand to heart center. Maybe we sink a little deeper, whatever shape we're in. Then on our next inhale, rising up, unraveling, bringing our arms to Tadasana, connecting through our feet to the floor, drawing our air, our prana deeply into the body and noticing where the energy is flowing right now. Bring the hands up overhead and heel toe those feet back wide. Bring the toes to the front, feet parallel to the edges of the mat. Exhale, hands to hips. And rolling forward from the hips, finding our forward fold. So continuing to work into those adductor muscles, feeling the stretch through the inner thighs. Maybe you have another little play, rolling up and down on the feet. Maybe just being here in stillness is enough. Tuning into your body, your energy. Bringing the hands to the hips, rising all the way up. Taking those arms skyward, heels in, toes out. Last time, arms straight overhead. Sinking into your goddess, your temple pose. And yogi's choice, staying here, or maybe one ankle up. Place it down. Opposite ankle up. Place it down. Lifting onto the balls of both feet, holding, 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 then releasing the heels, coming upright, dropping the arms to shoulder height. Taking the left foot so the blade is parallel to the short edge of the mat, turning the toes of the right foot forward and finding our warrior two. Lifting that front heel. Sinking into that shape. And then placing that heel on the ground, coming into that awkward transition into warrior one. And stepping forward, hands to heart center. Take a moment to breathe. Just ignore me coming into the middle of the mat so you can see me. If you need to take a gentle sway, maybe drop the hands. Allow the body to unravel. We've worked the body under tension, so maybe now bring in the balance of the opposite. A little gentle rock and sway, a little circling movement. Allowing the muscles to be soft, the body to be soft. And gently allowing that to come to stillness, your body to recenter. Take your feet a little wider than hip distance. Maybe the toes are just pointing out a little, breathe in. And as we breathe in, rising up, a little toe balance. Never minding your wobbles. Your wobbles are how you learn. As we exhale, we'll come down. 2 more. Inhale, rising up. Exhale down. Last time, rising all the way up. And this time as we come down, bringing our hands through heart center and maybe bending those knees and bringing ourselves into Malasana, a little Hindi squat. So our heels can be down or our hands can be forward, our feet a little closer together, our heels up. Wherever we are, we'll drop our right hand, inhale, float the left hand. Exhale, bring the hands together, extending through in the opposite direction. Bringing the hands together one final time, feeling a little stretch through the inner thighs. And then bringing the hands behind us, either with poise and elegance or not, depending on how your thighs are feeling after their workout. We'll come onto our bottoms and find our legs straight out in front of us. Have a little wriggle and a jiggle bouncing through the knees. They've worked quite hard. And then when you're ready, reconnect and balance with that push and pull. Sit bones to the earth, the crown of the head to the ceiling. Inhale, take the arms up and overhead. And bending forward from the hips, allow yourself to come into your forward fold. And noticing that our forward folds are settling, are calming. After the strength of our standing practices, we can rediscover our balance, finding these gentle folded shapes. Feeling that opening stretch in the calves, in the hamstrings. And if you want a little more, then flex the toes back to the face, draw the navel back to the spine. And feel a little longer stretch through those legs. Inhale, coming back up to center. Just ignore me turning around, bring the soles of the feet back together. Wrap the hands around. Allow the knees to drop. And just take a moment, reconnecting, finding that push, the pull, sit bones to the earth. Crown of the head to the ceiling. One more breath here. Then bring the knees in together, take the hands behind, heel toe the feet about mat distance apart. Drop the knees over to the right. Maybe looking over the opposite shoulder. Coming back through center, taking that to the opposite side. Back through center and refinding your comfortable seat. And it wouldn't be possible to do a balance practice without taking little Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. So this way of breathing means that we breathe through one nostril at a time. And it's believed that when we breathe through our right nostril, we're stimulating the left hemisphere of our brain, so our yang, more masculine side that's associated with logic and language and problem solving. And when we breathe through our opposite nostril, our left nostril, we stimulate the right side of our brain. And that's our yin side, our intuitive, feminine, creative part of our brain. So I'm just slightly nervous. The cat is playing with the laptop wire. So if all good things go horribly wrong, we're not that far from the end anyway. Okay, so to work with Nadi Shodhana, I'm going to come a little closer so I can show you. We're going to use our right hand. It's tradition we always use our right hand and drop the middle finger and the forefinger into the palm of the hand. And we place our thumb into our right nostril and just under the bony prominence. And then our opposite two fingers onto the opposite side of the nostril. So you can imagine almost like you're running your fingers down your nose and finding that little bit of pinching. Now, if that feels a little bit claustrophobic, and I do have students who really don't like that sensation, then leave your hand in your lap and just imagine that you're breathing through your right or your left nostril. And there have been scientific studies that have shown that both of those things work equally as well. So yogi's choice, either use your fingers and your thumb as your prompt on your nose, or just gently close your eyes and imagine. So coming onto your mat into your seated position, find your thumb on your right nostril, your fingers on your left, and then gently release the right nostril and breathe in to 4. Seal the nostril, open the left and out to 4. In left, out right, in right, out left, in left, out right, in right, out left, in left, out right, in right, out left, in left, out right. One more round, in right, out left, in left, out right. And release your hand, release the breath, allow your breath to return to normal. And just take a moment to notice how you feel. Nadi Shuddhi Nadi Shodhana is said to integrate the two halves and balance the two halves of our brains. It's a calming and balancing breath. And just perfect before we settle into our final few moments of practice, and you can choose to remain seated or take yourself into Shavasana, lying on your back, maybe legs straight, maybe knees together in constructive rest. Wherever you are, taking a moment to resettle, to rebalance. And bringing your attention to your physical body. Noticing the sensations within the physical body, that vessel, that container of the self. And take a gentle moment to scan over the body, noticing any points of dis-ease, of discomfort. Take any movement you need to settle that and breathe deeply into that body part. Allow the body to rest now and find balance. It's worked so hard. And having settled the body, bring the attention to the breath. Noticing the rise and fall of the inhale, the exhale. Allowing the body to breathe itself. And notice how the inflow, the outflow are calm, are balanced. And then bringing your attention to your mind. To that churning sea, to your thoughts. Notice where your thoughts are right now. And remember that meditation is not about stopping thoughts, but it's about being able to sit with your thoughts. to maybe surf over them without attachment, without drama. So allowing the body, the breath, the mind to balance, to settle into harmony. And notice how you feel, how you experience this sense of calmness. Notice your spirit and your soul. And perhaps just ask yourself if it's possible to take a little of this calmness away from practice. A little of this breath. And to bring that to our relationship with ourselves, our connection to ourselves, and to our relationship with our horses and our connection with our horses. We'll take one final breath. And then dropping our hands to our mats. Connecting the palms of our hands with the earth beneath. We'll inhale, float our hands up and overhead. Bringing the palms together, feeling the connection, the balance in the sides of the body. And notice any sensations of difference since the beginning of practice. Exhale, bring those hands through to heart center. Got your head to your chest. Mind intelligence to body intelligence to breath. 3 parts in harmony. And bowing to each other. From my harmony to yours, Om Shanti. Namaste. We rise up with our palms together and place that over our eyes. And just notice that sense of calmness, that sense of balance, and bat your eyes open into that. And allow the hands to fall away. Allow yourself to feel balanced and calm. Thank you guys for joining me for practice. So as usual, watch the inbox. I will send the replay out hopefully tomorrow or latest Thursday. There will be a little breath practice and I will check whether I've sent you my sitting comfortably video, and if I haven't, I will do that as well. Have a fabulous week with the ponies. Give them lots of hugs from us, especially Eddie, who's determined to be a yoga cat. And I will see you next week, which will be our last practice. I can't believe we're at our last class on the course together. Already the time seems to have absolutely flown by. So enjoy your week, enjoy your horses, and I will speak to you all soon. Thank you.